And I will quickly introduce myself because this is not about me, but my name is Samantha DeLeon. I'm the Associate Director for International Enrollment at Illinois Tech. I am actually a current MBA student too, so in the next 2 years, you'll see me hopefully on the other side as a panelist later on. But really, we're here to welcome all of you. Thank you for joining us, and I'm going to turn the floor over to my two colleagues, and if they want to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isma Mehraj. I'm from the northern part of India called Kashmir. It's a mountainous area. I can see Himalayas from my window, but currently I was admitted to Illinois Tech as Master of Science in Civil Engineering with specialization in construction engineering and project management. I'm currently working as a project controls engineer at WSP Chicago. So here I am.
Hey guys, my name is Paulo. I'm from Brazil. I just graduated this past fall. And I graduated with 2 bachelors, one in material science and engineering, one in engineering management. And I'm currently working in a factory in the south side of Chicago. So yeah, everything is going good so far.
Oops, and just so you know, this is really going to be a panel conversation. It's not meant to take up the full 30 minutes. It's really meant to be more of a, let's hear from our two panelists. And if you have any questions, or if maybe you have words of wisdom that you might want to share, that's always appreciated. And so I'm going to start off this conversation with, how did you find out about the university? And I know that we do have two alum or a few alum in here as well. It's always interesting to just hear the story since, you know, Isma, you're from India and Paulo, you're from Brazil. Do you mind sharing? I'll start with Isma first.
Okay, so you know, when an institution is as great as Illinois Tech, people know about it. I mean, how I knew about Illinois Tech is that Illinois Tech is very famous in India. We have so many students coming from India to Illinois Tech for various curriculums, various courses, various programs. So the reason that I traveled 9,067 miles, I can say, to reach Illinois Tech is for the excellence that it provides. And mostly it was through word of mouth that there are so many Indian students who are studying here and they made a better living and a better life. So here I am.
Well, for me, actually, it was kind of an accident that I discovered about IIT. In Brazil, there's a company that helps Brazilian students that want to come to the US and for college and everything. And basically what happened for me was that I had a list of universities that I was applying for. And my main university was Cornell University. But basically the company made a mistake and didn't tell me that I had to take the SAT subject. And then the deadline was already done. And they basically said, like, we'll give you another application. And they offered me either IIT or some other university in Michigan. I don't remember exactly which one. And then I chose IIT. I applied. I got into, I think, 6 universities. The main ones for me were here, Virginia Tech and University of Minnesota. And I came to visit the campus and I just enjoyed the fact that IIT was a smaller university. I want to be just another number, you know, like University of Minnesota had 80,000 students. I just didn't feel comfortable there. So I really, really enjoyed coming to IIT, specifically for being a smaller campus and everything. But for me, it was mainly an accident that I found IIT, to be completely honest with you.
I think it's great to hear that story. I think that Illinois Tech is still what people call the hidden gem. And even people in the suburbs of Chicago say that. They're like, why didn't I know about Illinois Tech? And I'm like, that's a great question. So our goal is to help elevate the university and in making sure that it is on that global platform, that it is that institution that students really want to come to. Now, it's definitely been some trying times even within the last few months, but what do you miss most about IIT?
Samantha, I think we have a question also on the chat. Do you want to address that
Oh yeah,
first?
actually, I could totally do that. Tell us a little bit about some of the projects you are working on. I like that. Hey, why don't we go first with, let's go, Paolo, tell us about some of the
Sure.
projects you're working on.
Sure. So, well, I just graduated. Like I said, I graduated past fall, right? And then I got the job that I'm at right now in March. So my job basically is my company. We make the paper partitions that go inside of boxes for shipping, right? So it's in the packaging industry. And my job, it's a pretty small company. My bosses, they're the owners of the company. They just bought the company, I think, 3 years ago. Um, so it's really interesting to, be um, only my bosses are the owners of the company, right? So I'm pretty high up in a company that only has 7 people. And I run the factory. So I make sure that I plan production, I track inventory, that our machines are working fine, I control lead time. So that's my full-time job. But in another way, I guess, in terms of projects, I also volunteer downtown with a domestic violence awareness organization. And I was very lucky to actually be able to volunteer with them. Through that, I actually got to meet the mayor of Chicago, which was awesome. Um, what else? Other projects that I'm working on? I'm trying to get my Six Sigma Green Belt certification as well. I don't know if that really counts, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just trying to continue my learning after college, to be even more of a prepared professional.
And Isma, same question for you. What
The
projects are you
project.
working on?
Okay, so like I said, I am a project controls engineer and I work for WSP, but currently I am working for City of Chicago. I work for CTA, that is Chicago Transit Authority. We provide construction management services to CTA, be it vertical construction, be it horizontal construction, and mostly these days I'm working on Blue Line, I'm working on Green Line if you're from Chicago, so you know about these lines. I work for various mid-con jobs, that's like a middle contractor jobs, mostly related to CTA. And we have a big project coming called RPM. And we have another big project, $1 billion projects on Red Line extension. So those are the projects I'm currently working on.
That's really great to hear. I love hearing about your professional take and really how you got there. And I think that, maybe I'll pivot to that question of what advice would you give to maybe if a current student is here or hears this later, or an international student who is still at home? What type of advice would you give to them to maybe get to where you are in your career?
So, like I said, I have spoken to you several times, Samantha. I dedicate my professional career to Illinois Tech. It's not just I'm saying this; I mean it because when I came from India, I had a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, and I was all the time worried about the fact that American construction is different. We follow different codes. We follow different everything design criteria. But once I came to Illinois Tech under Master of Science in Civil Engineering, I was being prepared for the industry. One of my professors, very renowned professor, his name is Professor Raymond Lemming, he's from CAE department. He said that I teach, or these courses are designed in a way that when you leave this door after your final exams or your final presentation, you are ready for the industry. The programs that Illinois Tech has made, the courses, the lectures we have every day, they are literally making us ready for the industry. So I would say that my message to international student is that I am an international student myself. I have spent dollars and I feel every dollar I have spent is worth it.
For me, it's what I tell the guys in my fraternity as well. Focus on school, obviously, but try to use the city as much as you can as well. There are great opportunities in the city. Volunteer with people outside. You never know who you're going to meet. Networking is extremely important, in my opinion. Put yourself out there. Like, don't be scared. Be part of organizations. Uh, through IIT, I managed to go to 3 conferences from material science, and I met professors from around the country, amazing students from other universities as well that helped me out through my graduation. So I think school is important. Going to the class is important. Getting good grades is important, but trying to have a presence as well, and your campus and your community is even more important for me.
Isma, I saw you unmute yourself. Did you want to add anything to that? Or did you want to answer some of the questions that came in?
Okay, I didn't see the
Or I can add, sorry, I thought you unmuted to say something. First, let me get to Zanette Sanders. She had her hand raised. Did you want to share something?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to have my hand raised, but
Okay.
I did want to say to Isma that I don't know if you know one of our IIT alumni, Angela Ning. She just started working at CTA about a year ago. It'll be a good person to connect with. And she's actually the former chair of the Young Alumni Club. So for IIT. So I'll send you her email address. I think she'll be good to connect with.
Thank you so much. We'd love to connect.
Great.
That's what Illinois Tech is about, to be completely honest. I saw someone chat like, oh, the size is totally different. The types of connections that come out naturally, I think, just like this, it's so organic and it just happens in a great way. But there was a question actually from Michael Hill. Both of you have relatives in the United States? He was just curious. So Isma and Paolo?
I haven't seen my family since 2 years now. I mean, I have no one in the United States. I'm alone, but I never felt alone because I was all the time on campus. I was involved in extracurricular activities, that I was involved in community services. I was involved with my friends. So I do not have any relatives, but I do not feel alone as well.
For me, it's the same thing. My family is entirely in Brazil, but I'm part of a fraternity. So the guys helped me go through a lot of stuff recently. I have my dog as well, who is a complete sweetheart. But yeah, no, my family's in Brazil. I don't have anybody here.
Does anyone have any questions?
There's some more things here, Samantha.
Yeah.
So James asked, if we're having this conversation 5 years from now, what has happened in your career or accomplishments you have achieved that you'll be telling us about? So I'm a little bit confused actually about the question. So you mean if, a hypothetical situation, if we're 5 years from now?
Sure.
Okay. Well, my goal, at least for 5 years from now, is to, one, have my sponsorship, so I can be in the US, no problem. Because right now I'm in my OPT, so I only have 3 years that I'm allowed to stay here without a visa sponsorship. But I hope that if I stay in my company, to be able to take over my boss's position, and but my boss could move up to be actually the CEO of the company, and I can be kind of like the COO. We're lucky that our company is kind of like expanding pretty fast. But if that doesn't happen, I would like to work in the sports industry. That was kind of like what my dream job always was, and hopefully starting a master's as well. So that's kind of my 5-year plan, is try to lead my way to start a master's eventually.
Isma, any take on that same question as well?
I agree with Paulo. I mean, we have this constant fear of immigration services, sponsorship, and everything. But luckily, touch wood, I got hired by a company that do these sponsorship. WSP is a huge global company. They have around 50,000 employees from all over the world, with over like 50 countries where the offices are. So touch wood, that is the best part. But yeah, that I would want to achieve the sponsorship so that I won't have any issues in the future that I have to leave the country. And second is that I'm currently working as a project controls engineer, and my future goal for coming years is to become a manager position and manage few of the projects on my own. And also I would like to focus on getting license, like professional license, FE, PE, so I become a better engineer day by day, because engineers, we build the roads, we build buildings, we build transit, the rail that you sit on, so we have to be more skilled. So I would want myself to be more skilled.
I saw Philippe had a question specifically now, a little bit about more aligned with maybe Paulo to share. He's coming from Brazil and he wants to know a little bit more about the Brazilian students at IIT in the community. And I can also, maybe Philippe, if you want to stay on after, I'm happy to talk a little bit about admissions. I can do both grad and undergrad. So we can have a one-on-one conversation after this presentation too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, if you want to talk about scholarship and everything, Samantha is the person to talk to. Well, regarding the at least the Brazilian community here, everybody's pretty close. Like, we have a chat with all the Brazilians, and we all like try to hang out as much. Not now because of Corona, but you know, we try to hang out as much as we can as well. We have our Brasa, which is the Brazilian Student Association chapter at IIT. I was actually one of the guys that founded it a few years ago, I think 3 years ago. I would say we have, in the group chat, we have like 12 people, but that's like the closer group. We have another group chat for browsing in general that I think is around 30. But I mean, everybody's pretty close. We have a lot of masters and PhD students from Brazil, actually. I was pretty surprised. Yeah, I mean, if you want to send me your phone number, we can talk as well about the Brazilian group, if that would help you.
Yeah,
if that helps you.
I hope you don't mind. I just followed you on Instagram.
No, that's all good. Yeah, no, that works for me. Yeah. Actually, there's another Brazilian in my fraternity. We're both from São Paulo, so if you're from São Paulo, you get some points with me.
I'm from Rio.
Oh man, that's tough. But yeah, no, just shoot me a message. We can talk about it. But yeah, my fraternity, we're a triangle. I'm a part of the triangle fraternity.
This is great. I love all the questions. I thought I just saw another question pop up. Suleiman had asked if you've taken or passed your state license exams, FEPE, and this is helpful. Maybe if you weren't familiar with it and you have to take it, you know, this is really what's so great about our alumni being able to help out some of our recent graduates. I guess Ismael, Paulo, did you know about that? I mean, that's news to me, so I really do appreciate that.
Yes, I mean, I just, like I said, that is my future goal for these coming years, that I want to have these professional license called FENP. But yes, that is on my to-do list for this, I won't say this year now, it's almost over, next year.
And if
that.
may I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'll introduce myself very briefly. I graduate with the BS, MS, and PhD from IIT.
Wow.
And I also, I am an adjunct at this point with IIT and the civil engineering department. I know, Asma, you mentioned that you took some class or classes at the civil engineering. They just started a class to help student. I think it's one of the unique classes that's available in the country, where it's a class, it's 0 credit, free to the student, where you could take it and it will help you pass the FE exam. So I would look to the IIT Civil Engineering Department, and if you, Paulo, also, it's open to all the students. So I highly encourage you both to take the license exam as soon as possible. And don't let the industry right now you work in. I know from Asma introduced herself, I know you work with WSP. I am familiar with WSP. So you really need to take the PE because it will advance your career substantially. Paulo, you are a mechanical engineer?
Material science and engineering management.
I highly recommend you take the FE exam. Are you familiar with it or no?
Yeah, I am.
Take it as soon as possible. It will help you professional license. And the last thing I want to say is I know it's off the subject, but my name and your name, Paulo, it's spelled sounds the same but spelled different. How do you say your last name?
Oh yeah, it's Kodaira.
And mine is Kudera. Maybe we are brothers or relatives.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice that. That's actually pretty
It's
awesome.
just
Yeah.
amazing. I have to say, I am originally from the Middle East. I came to
Uh-huh.
IIT in 1982, and IIT has been really very good to me, and I'm very
Mhm.
proud IIT alumni. So I know you're from Brazil. I have taught some Brazilian student, but
Uh-huh.
two different parts of the world, same last name. It's just maybe it's
That's
beyond coincidence.
awesome.
Okay,
That's crazy. No, that's actually pretty awesome. Yeah.
okay, great. Okay.
Thank you for the advice. Appreciate that.
That's wonderful. I think that this is really why Illinois Tech, again, I can just, always sing the praises of the students because it's the community, it's the people on our campus that make it such a special place. I'm also very sensitive, even though I know we started a little later. I do want to be mindful of just some of the other conversations. I know we've asked questions from the guests here, and I'll speak with Philippe a little bit after. That way we can answer all of his questions. But to be completely honest, this was meant to be a way for this small group to connect. And if you feel comfortable, feel free to write your emails in the chat box. That way we can connect, after this event as well. But I do also want to share just a few of the photos, and I want to leave it to both Paulo and Isma to maybe talk a little bit about what we see here. And so maybe we'll start with Isma because she has two photos, and then we'll pop to Paulo and then share that story with.
Yeah, sure. You can see me in the middle. I have these one of my favorite professors on my left. You can see Professor Raymond Lemming. On my right, I'm going opposite maybe. On my right with a checkered shirt, his name is Professor Larry Dorn. They used to teach me cost estimation. And the best part about why I chose this photo is that I was a teaching assistant for them. They gave me a position which paid my tuition. And I worked with them for almost 4 semesters. I used to tutor 92 students in one class, or sometimes even more. So I used to help them in grading. I used to help them in helping them in assignments, in the coursework, on the projects. So that is the picture you can see, and I think next to it is my graduation cap. I made that on my own. It has this this cocoon where and you can see a butterfly on the top, but I won't go into the details. But it was a little bit sad for us because this year we did not have the graduation ceremony, so it was all virtually. So I dressed up in my home. So that is the picture that I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry. Well, my picture is like I mentioned, I had the chance to meet Mayor Lightfoot this past February. It was because I had the opportunity of volunteering with the Office of Title IX here at IIT. I knew some people at the Office of Campus Life. They knew I was interested in trying to help out those, more social issues that we see in campus life and, stuff like that. So I had the chance to volunteer with them, and our campaigns were very successful. So I got referred to this organization downtown to help in a Chicago scale with teen dating violence, right? So the organization's called the Network Chicago. We rolled a campaign in the month of October for teen dating violence, like awareness. It was actually really successful. We were really surprised by the numbers. That we didn't really expect that. And we got renewed by the city of Chicago to run a campaign not just in October, but for the whole year of 2020. So we're running this campaign all this year. We're running events, writing magazines, posts on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, to try to raise awareness for that, and for the hotline that Illinois also has, like a domestic violence hotline that people can call at any time that they need. And then because of that, I had the chance to meet Mayor Lightfoot. Me and Christina, the girl with me, were both invited for an event at the hotline, the site. And Mayor Lightfoot just came to talk to us for like 20 minutes, discuss how we could try, like how Chicago could try to make it more, make it a better experience for mainly for like high school students and for CPS, which is Chicago Public School System. So it was a really interesting moment. It was really because I was also looking for a job at the time, and then when she discovered that I was looking for a job, she offered to try to help me find a job. So I had a few meetings with some people from the mayor's office, and it was just a great experience. So it's one of the pictures that I'm the most proud of.
Philippe, did you hear that? I'm just letting you know, you could be just like Paolo, you know, and to be completely honest, you know, both Isma and Paolo, you know, are just starting their career, but they've done so much here at the university to get them to where they are today. And so, yeah, does anyone have any other questions, anything to add? I know that there were a few ways to connect, but if you do happen to have your smartphone and you're looking at this, feel free to scan it. This links directly to both of their LinkedIn websites. I know, Philippe, you said you already found Paolo on Instagram. That's great too. I think it's, you know, the best way for people to connect is the medium that you use. So if like you're never going to log on to LinkedIn, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, feel free. Again, this is a good way to just kind of see and hear their stories after this event and this date. You know, I think that I also definitely need to add who I am. Again, if you have questions, if perhaps for our graduates, our alumni here who are thinking, well, I have a niece or a nephew, or, you know, my cousin was looking at a master's program, PhD program, I am very, very happy to connect with anyone here. You know, and I really do believe that when it comes to the graduates of the university, you continue to tell the story of Illinois Tech. I love hearing the alumni story. It's essentially what I share with students on the road in my presentations. I share Paolo's story where he randomly met the mayor and then it led him to a job, right? That doesn't happen at every university. I talk about Isma and how she was able to connect and how her faculty really rallied behind her throughout her education at the university. You know, I got to know Isma very well, I would say the past year, and Paolo even, you know, within the last, I would say 3 months. And I have learned so much about our graduates through just conversations. And I really do believe that Illinois Tech is a special place. I think that for the graduates, for our professors, for our faculty and our staff, I just want to say, just thank you for being who you are, for connecting people, you know, organically, even through this chat box. So to Zanette, Michael, Dr. Kudera, who's here as well, to, you know, Isma and Paolo, thank you so very much. And Philippe, I know I'm still going to keep talking to you a little bit after this. So if you do want, and there might be other sessions open, feel free to pop around, but this is officially the end of our alumni panel talk. So I want to say thank you again and be well and be safe. Thank you, everyone.